Hi, my name's Lindy Cowling. Welcome to the channel. My website is www.lindycowling.co.uk, email info@lindycowling.co.uk. And the title of the short video today, and probably the last video that I do for 2017, I'm not going to guarantee it'll be the last one for 2017, because if I have the inspiration or suddenly wake up one day and feel like, no, I just need to go onto camera, then I will. But I'm expecting this to be the last one of 2017. So with that said, the title of this video is the Twin Flame Trampoline. The Twin Flame Trampoline. Now, oh, nice little jangly sound just to back that up. Now, the reason I'm calling it the Twin Flame Trampoline will become obvious in a minute, but really it's and when I say Twin Flame Trampoline, this video is not just going to apply for twin flames. This is going to apply for catalysts that come into your life. This is going to apply for soulmates that come into your life. This is going to apply to soul fractals. This is going to apply to any kind of connection that is starting with the essence or spirit essence connection and works its way down, or soul connection. So basically any life transforming connection, whether it's light catalyst, dark catalyst, soulmates, old soulmate, new soulmate, conscious, unconscious, blah de blah, any of it. But the title is going to be the Twin Flame Trampoline, but it applies to any connections that you have that are about growth, spiritual growth, development, and transformation. So the reason I'm bringing this out is, as you know, I work experientially, but I also work, I'm working in that respect from experience myself and experience with clients, usually both. And I did have the pleasure of working with two delightful ladies yesterday, not together, two different sessions. And there was some crossover points and synchronicities there. And often when I work, if I see that repetitive pattern taking place and it's resonating with me, then I know it's quite significant, not only to my client in session, but also to this element of my sharing. In other words, there's a kind of helpful global picture there that if I share it will help other people. So the Twin Flame Trampolining, literally meaning when you have connected with someone in any capacity, be that a twin flame or not, any capacity that is about growth and transformation, you can take the highest perspective on that and use that connection as a way of bouncing into, hence the word trampolining, to your authentic self and your highest aspect of growth, outcome, alchemy, and transformation. And you can literally use those experiences as a trampoline to do this. Now, let me explain what I mean here. I don't mean use the people that you've connected with as a trampoline and look at it just as, disconnected, like I'm going to use that for my growth. Let me explain what I mean. There is a worldwide pattern here, which I see year in, year out, and which I also went through as well, is when you go through a massive alchemizing, transforming experience like that, because you feel what you feel and you love who you love, and there's chemicals and hormones and kundalini and all sorts of gizmos going on at the same time. What happens, in the good old-fashioned pain body and your emotions, what happens is there is a lot of pain and suffering as a result of that, where people get caught in what I call the cycle of suffering. I brought a video out on it, and also the bigger picture of what's under the cycle of suffering. People get caught up in those loops, and what happens is something that's supposed to be, ultimately healing for them, ultimately transformation for them, ultimately coming into a unified 0 point field of consciousness, the authentic them, can sometimes get quite derailed or take twice as long as it could have, or should have, because they get caught up in certain pitfalls. And instead of trampolining up to a level of consciousness that they would have been slower to reach, or would have been more difficult to reach, or instead of taking that easier, shall we say, route, although sometimes it doesn't feel like it's easier when everything around you is transforming and everyone around you seems to be falling away from you as you go through your levels of rising frequency. Instead of taking that route and it being at an optimal speed for you and the process, and I'm not suggesting that is super quick, what I'm saying is it gets slowed down a lot by these certain pitfalls, people turn away from that and they get caught up in the pain body, and they get caught up in the emotions, they get caught up in the belief, and they keep looking back over their shoulder. They keep looking back at how it was, how they think it should have been, could have been, the mistakes they made. And of course, this is very human, and we've all done it and we all do it. But I have noticed, and it became apparent again yesterday, that it can not only drastically slow your own individual process down, but it can cause you a lot of pain. And, the months go into years, and some people get caught in these loops for years, kind of things. So I've made a list of about a dozen points here, which I will keep glancing that way, because I don't often write things down, but when I do, I will need to glance that way just to remind me here. Helpful tips, if you like, to make that process faster and easier for you. So no matter how much you love the person you were or are connected with, no matter how much you love the person or people that you've had these experiences with, transformations, alchemy, life-changing, awakening, started you on the track to ascension, spiritual growth, all of these things, no matter what, when you keep getting into that habit, catch yourself when you get in the habit of continually living in, let's say, the past, or looking over your shoulder, looking back all the time, analysing it, torturing yourself, obsessing over it, etc., etc. Think of your connection, whatever category they are, this applies across the board to all categories, as a trampoline to your own becoming more conscious, a gift to you becoming more conscious, a gift to healing what was unhealed, bringing to light what wasn't in the light, bringing the shadow to light, transformation, alchemy, helping you along the way to your evolutionary process. Yes, they are still a human being. Yes, you do feel what you feel. It's not taking away that or saying that's not valid at all. What it's doing is making it easier for you to look at it and reframe it in a different way, a way that doesn't bring you quite so much grief and pain. So, because at the end of the day, if you do take the high road on this, and I brought one of the first videos I brought out nearly 4 years ago was I'll take the high road, you take the low road. If you take the higher perspective on it, it's not spiritual bypassing. We know all about that, going woo-woo on it so you don't have to deal with your stuff. What it's doing is it's reframing the circumstance to alchemize it and go through the highest outcome for you, for them, for the whole situation. So if you look at it as a gift, a transformation, a trampoline into the higher frequency of you and the authentic you, no matter if they're in communication or not, if you ever see them again or not, if you are seeing them, it doesn't matter. In some ways, none of that matters to what I'm saying here yet. Or, you know, think of it as, or them, or the situation as a trampoline of jumping you up. Think what a trampoline does, bouncing you up, but you don't go back down again. Well, you might dip down temporarily. Here comes my cat. Look, go on, stay down there, darling. No, no, no. Oh, my cat's bounced up here. Look at that. There's no trampoline up here, darling. Stay out the way. That's it. Good boy. Good boy. Think what a trampoline does. You know, you bounce down, you go up, you bounce down, sometimes you go up higher. Well, this trampoline, you know, you're going to get to a point where you don't keep going down like that anymore, or you know, in the end you stay up, you keep up. So think of the whole thing as a trampoline to that, to elevated consciousness, a gift. No matter what the situation or dynamics, take that from it. Whatever the end result was or outcome, take the high road on it, so to speak. Try to catch yourself in the habit of keep looking back over your shoulder, analysing it to death, obsessing to death, checking on the situation to death, going over and over and over and over and over it to death, watching videos that analyse it and obsess about it to death, being in groups that analyse and obsess about it to death, because what that's doing is it's keeping you in the cycle of suffering. It is, I'm not taking away from any of those that provide valid support that helps people move forward, and I'm sure there are plenty out there that do that, but there are also plenty out there that don't, and that they contribute to keeping you in a cycle of suffering because they can't get out the cycle of suffering themselves. Number 3, keep it in the now. Keep in the now. Keep present. Keep here and now and present. Yes, we do spend a lot of our time in things that have already happened and things that haven't happened yet, but try and keep it in the present for these kind of circumstances. Be open to the idea of interacting with other people that are as high in vibration or even higher in vibration than your original, shall we say, connection. Be open to the possibility or idea, even if that's not something you want yet or can believe will ever happen again. Why do I say this? Because the maximum cause of misery worldwide is people having an experience like this and then convincing themselves, I will never experience anything as high as that again, as dramatic as that again, as beautiful as that again, as horrific as that again. I will never experience anything to that extent again, to that depth again, to that height again, to that frequency again. And therefore it exacerbates and trebles the grieving process, because you can believe it can never get better than that, or as high as that, or as good as that, or the same as that. And what this work has taught me is that absolutely is untrue, and there are infinite possibilities if only you would allow yourself to believe that. And that belief is keeping you looped into that reality of I will never experience anything magical or quite like this again. There are infinite possibilities. We know this now. So when you catch yourself going down that, what you're doing is you're punishing yourself, sabotaging yourself, hurting yourself, and keeping yourself trapped in that loop of suffering. A practical thing to help your body while you're going through ascension changes, these kind of changes to your consciousness, which is sometimes a bit of a shock to the body and takes the body a while to get used to, even if you were good health or not in good health. You know, of course, your health, your base rate of health, where your starting point was, is going to depend on how dramatically your body is affected. But still, you know, even the most healthiest of people get affected. Things to help, the basic ones again: near running water, in running water, near the sea, Epsom salt baths, sea salt baths, in when you're under running water in the shower, those mantras of almost like releasing from your body what needs to be released. And you can say this, sorry, by number sequences. You can say this, do this by sound. You can do this by just saying it out loud. So sea, nature, moving water, Epsom salts, lying in Epsom salts, just boosting the body, really. Eating things that are very nutritious for the body as in natural state as possible, drinking things in as natural state as possible. And I'm not saying there aren't going to be times when you're not going to be drawn to eat things that are not great for you, but try and make the transition. I know it can't be done overnight for a lot of you, into supporting the body more than you have before. Sounding is a big one. Making sound, voicing, communicating, even if you say it to yourself and it's inappropriate to say to someone else how you feel, sounding out in the shower or in the bath, or when you go out for a walk in nature, or when you're near the river, or when you're near the sea, or when you're meditating, sounding it out, making sounds, making the sounds that you want to make to express things, you know, in a place that's a safe space for you and appropriate for you. Could be singing, could be chanting, could be talking it, could be mantras, sounding it out, asking your body, your mind, your pain body, your energy field again, what do I need? Is there anything blocking in me? What sound is that? What color is that? What number is that? To just try and free it up. On my channel, there is a video on core soul wounding, which takes you back a step-by-step exercise into how to track back some of the emotions that are under these things that keep things blocked and trapped in you. I would advise you also go through that if you feel drawn to, because that will also help. Letting go of what is not here and now, letting go again of what is not here and now, letting it go emotionally, mentally, on every level of it. Because what happens is people, the most common place they get tangled up in is their brain, their mind, which is informing their emotions, and their emotions, which is informing their mind. So they get caught in that loop, and it's almost as if it's continuously happening to them. They're re-triggering themselves in a way, and they don't mean to do that. None of us mean to do that, but that's what's happening. So letting go of it is a process. You can't just say, oh, this morning, I'm going to let go of everything. It's not quite like that. It's a series of unlocking, really, energetic unlockings, which frees up blocked consciousness to sort of, you know, it's like a dam actually, and it frees it up suddenly, and the water gushes through, or the release of energy gushes through when it's freed up. So letting go mentally, emotionally, to what is not here and now. Again, that's, you know, looping back to keeping it in the present. You can do these releases by number coding, and I've done some examples of that on YouTube when I've been drawn to do it. You may have your own sequences of numbers that you know, if you think of those numbers with a color and sequencing, and you know that will be the one that's going to release emotions in the body, or in your mind, or in your pain body. So try and go with that. Good old inner child work, you know, vital to any transformation, because many of us, you know, get stuck under the age of 10 in the pain body, you know, connected with inner child stuff and the child within us. And of course, the child within us is vital to all this, because once you get into the authentic you, fully in your heart and fully conscious, it's all about that childlike joy. And actually you're accessing that child state that is you as well, 24/7. So if there is a traumatized child in you, or a damaged child in you from actual linear memory, or something else going in there that's carrying over from the multidimensional timelines, look at that. So start with the basic stuff. I've got all of this out on YouTube, on my videos that give you a blow-by-blow account of how to do it, how to comfort your own inner child. And if you can't do it that way on your own, go to someone that can do inner child work on you or with you. Identifying your own emotions. This is absolutely key to everything. How we get sick and how we get caught in patterns and how we get really caught in these belief systems is the real key component to it is our own emotion. So for something to eventually form physically, eventually, it's not a hard and fast rule. We're quite complicated beings, human beings. There has to be, just like I said, a sequence of things to unlock things. There has to be a sequence of things to also lock them and block them. And what I would say is one of the key ones of those that keep things in there is your own emotional component to it. How do you feel underneath all of it? And that's the thing, that how it blocks or gets hold of you or actually frees. It's your emotional state to it. That's why your mindset is everything. Your mindset and your emotions are everything. So look at them and identify, put the spotlight on you, the magnifying glass on you, what that is. Lastly, I think this is number 12. Yeah, it's literally, again, reiterating that last point I just made, getting your mind right, because your mind is a fantastic, brilliant tool when we are using it correctly. Now, for the best part, we don't use our mind correctly at all, and it's like a runaway train that can cause chaos and really a lot of pain and suffering for us or for others. So it's getting your mind is, if it's like a runaway horse or a runaway train, it's reining that in and having a look at what's going on there. And nearly always underneath that there is some kind of anxiety or fear, trying to take control, trying to grab hold of the control there in some way to reassure yourself. Look at what's underneath there. So just going to reiterate those points, zoom through them quickly. Think of whatever your connection is, wherever it's at, whether you're in communication, not in communication, whatever category you're in, twin flame or not twin flame, any category this would apply to. Don't keep looking back continuously what could have been and what should have been and what you hope will be and trying to grab it. You just cause yourself more pain. You'll slow the process down. You could even derail it. Don't do it. Think of it as a trampoline, them as a trampoline to springboard you up into higher consciousness. And when it works, which it works in a high proportion of cases, one of the couple or the other, if you say to me, why not both of them? I'm sure it is possible for both of them, but I have yet to see it. I have to be honest, this is an experiential channel. I've yet to see a couple where both of them are springboarded up higher. Now, it may be that those ones don't come to me because they don't need any assistance with anything, because they both met and springboarded up to full consciousness. But all I can say is I haven't actually worked with any or met any yet where they both had an alchemizing experience and both went up significantly. It's usually one or the other, especially if it's an aspect of same soul. One seems to go up and the other seems to keep on a familiar linear trajectory. So think of the whole experience, them as a trampoline, and that it's worked if you go forward in your own consciousness and take the higher vibration and frequency of what you are, the authentic you on it. Try to catch yourself when you are continuously looking back over your shoulder, looking back, looking back, looking back. When you're looking back, you cannot see what's in front of you. You can't see the way ahead because you're constantly looking back over your shoulder. It's going to keep you slowed down and in misery. Be open to the idea of meeting other people, and it doesn't always have to be in a romantic sense. It can be other amazing magical experiences, but it can be in a romantic sense, and it can be a more personally beneficial connection to you than your original one, whatever that was. Keep in the now. That's the same as looking back over your shoulder again. Keep it in the now. Keep present. Haul your self back into now. To support the body, eating nutritiously, trying to take exercise, depending on what your medical condition is to start with. Obviously, you know your own bodies better than anyone, but really looking after your body and your body consciousness, and talking to your body consciousness as one, you know, entire being that you are. Epsom salt, sea, moving water, nature, sounding, making sounds, uttering sounds, whether it's music, whether it's singing, whether it's chanting, whether it's just sound, you know, like a guttural sound or an angelic sound. Doesn't matter if you can sing or can't sing, just get the sound out, sounding it out. Core soul wound healing, if you need to go back to that, track back to right underneath. I have a video that gives you all the ways to do that, and you can look back on that on my channel. Letting go of what is not here and now, and that's, I know that's easier said than done, because it's a number of sequences of energetic unlocking that frees that up, but you have to start somewhere. We all have to start somewhere. So start with, you know, maybe you're getting your mind straight, or identifying what your emotions are, or where your life is at now, or what's keeping you in that pattern. Start somewhere. It doesn't matter where you start, but start somewhere. And you can release these things. There are a number of ways. You can do it by visualizing color, number sequences. I give all these examples on my YouTube channel, especially those kind of videos within the last year of how to do this. So I talk you through it to help you with that. Inner child work. Do not forget that inside we are all really children. That's the ironical thing. It doesn't matter how old you are. You know, you're still children, and sometimes you can almost get stuck in that child state, which is sometimes detrimental, because you can get stuck in it. And you know, how many people have you met that they don't actually take responsibility as an adult? They're like a willful, spoiled child that throws tantrum, and they do that till the day they die. Or you can have the other side, where there's someone with that almost childlike innocent and purity, almost angelic, that is they have that right the way through their life to the day they die. The inner child stuff is vital. I would say it's one of the keys really to the whole thing. Look back at your childhood, whether you had a rosy childhood or not. I explain on the channel how to do inner child work, and if you need support for it, because there's some pretty big stuff in there for you, get the support. I'm a huge advocate of getting the support. You can get it through people like me, or you can get it for one-to-one therapy that you can meet up with in your country, in your area. Don't think you've got to do it all alone, because I'm a huge advocate for support. I could not have done this journey totally on my own, and I could not. I wouldn't be here today. I had to get support at crucial parts of it. It's called being human, and you know, we all need that at times. Identifying your emotional state. What is your most predominant emotion that's coming up all the time? Are you angry all the time? Are you sad all the time? Are you scared all the time? Looking at your most common emotional state, where does that represent in your body? There are key areas of the body that is common for those emotions to show up at. And look at where that's keeping you looped into beliefs or behaviors or suffering or illness or wherever. Have a look. I'm going to say again, you know, we're complex beings as human beings. There are a number of different dynamics to us. Please do not beat yourself up. Everything I'm talking about here is an experiential channel. I've been through, and I've had to work through, and you know, things come up and I have to look at things again. Anyone that's genuine will tell you, you don't just overnight just go from here to there in your awareness and awakening. It is a process. That's the key word. It takes the time it takes. So that's how people like myself talk the way we talk, not just because of being connected into our heart and authentic self, and not just because we work in energy, but because we've actually experienced it, actually been going through it and are going through it. Finally, again, I'm going to repeat this one because it's so important. You're getting your head right on it, or the right mindset on it, getting your head right on it, because your head can derail you and cause you immense misery and pain. Look at why you're reacting the way you're reacting. Have you got something in you that's like, for example, bipolar? Do you have depression? Do you have that in the family? Not in you, but in the family, because in lots of these connections, you're not just processing for yourselves, you're clearing it, the whole family dynamic. It used to be that I just used to see that in twin flame union, not anymore. Across all categories now, you seem to be collecting, collecting the garbage really for the entire family, the soul family or blood family. The thing is, you're not supposed to hold on to it. You're not supposed to collect the garbage and hold on to it and carry it on you for the rest of your life, that so many of us did and got very sick as a result of it. You're supposed to collect it and then let it pass through you like a filtration unit on up into the ethers as a process of alchemy. You're not supposed to take it on. Yes, you're more likely to take it on if you're empathic, intuitive, very sensitive, but you're not supposed to keep taking it on. And that is, you're going to have to really look hard at that if you do have those characteristics. I learned the hard way again and got very ill for a very long time, many years, before I started realizing what was happening. And this is a key question you can ask. If you are experiencing things that way, actually ask your body and your body consciousness, ask out loud. Is this mine? Is this garbage mine? Is this pain mine? Is this physical pain mine? Is this emotional pain mine? Is this actually mine? And you bet your bottom dollar, in a high percentage of the cases, it isn't, or some of it was yours, your emotional bit. That's how it stuck to you, your emotion, the key to it. But a lot of it wasn't yours, and you're processed for the collective, or you accidentally took it on and in for the collective. So have a look at all those things. Some of these points I've covered before, but I'm getting them all together here. The key to this video really being the way that you look at the experience you've had is going to make a difference to how much suffering you have as a result of it, and how much transformation you have as a result of it, and how much you come into the authentic, unified, balanced you as a result of it. You have a choice on that, but you don't have a choice if you don't have all the tools in your toolkit, if you're not aware that you have a choice, if you're just reacting emotionally and responding like somebody in a boxing ring that's got punched so many times, you're just reeling and you're just waiting for the next one. And believe me, I've been there, so I know what I'm talking about there. You don't realize you have a choice in it. You're just responding in your pain body all the time, or you're being triggered all the time, or in belief systems. It's a step-by-step process. And this is actually, I mean, that's just made me nearly burst out laughing. That's a 12-step program. That is a 12-step program, isn't it? Now, I haven't been in a 12-step program, but isn't that what they do for like addictions and things like that? Isn't it a 12-step program? And I've just realized there's 12 steps there, which I didn't realize when I wrote it down. It's funny, isn't it? It just came to me. So there's your twin flame trampolines 12-step program. Maybe I'll call it that. So there you are. Those things will help. They won't all help at once. Some things will help you more than others. Some things might not help. Some of those things will definitely help you depending on where you're at and how you're feeling. But the whole purpose of this video is to help you move forward. That's the whole purpose of the channel. On that note, I will love you and leave you. This has been much longer, this video, than I intended. So thank you, as always, for watching the channel. Thank you for supporting me as the channel in all the ways that you have done and continue to do. I can't quite believe that in January it will be 4 years since I've been on here. My, oh my, what 4 years it's been. The highs, the lows, the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's the human experience, human transformation. Can't be done overnight. Thanks for watching. I wish you all a lovely Christmas. Whatever you're doing, try and make some time for you. Try and have some peaceful time. Again, really try and take the high road rather than the low road, the higher perspective on things, not spiritual bypassing, but just the perspective that gives you most comfort and most peace, whilst also in a way being realistic. That's what this channel is all about as well, really. I'm not suggesting you go woo-woo. I'm suggesting that you choose as your resting state, your balance point, what is most healthiest and best for you, really. And we are the world's worst at not doing that and getting yanked into all different kinds of directions because it's part of the human experience. And yes, we are learning our mastery and becoming superhuman and divine humans. It does not happen overnight. And, you know, the whole purpose of being here really on this planet and working with this planet is that process of alchemy and transformation to reach that point, both for us, the collective, and the planet, the earth as a whole. Merry Christmas, guys. Ho, ho, ho. See ya in 2018. Bye.